lane. The East Coast swing is over, and now the edict is, go west, young man. Our backdrop, we welcome you to Portland, Oregon for CBS Sports' next stop on the Pro Bowlers Tour. We are live at the Hollywood Bowl for the 1999 PBA Oregon Open. Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Seibel, along with PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman. Well, after a week off, today we began the first of 5 events on our West Coast swing, and Marshall, so far, 5 tournaments, 5 different winners.
Gary, maybe a little parity on the tour. Now, Parker Bone III, he won the first event, the Empire State Open, and he had the opportunity to really dominate. But Brian Bogosian at the American Bowling Congress Masters and Steve Hoskins at the Touring Players Championship put Parker in second place.
And for the 6th consecutive week, we are guaranteed a different champion, possibly top seed Norm Duke.
Well, and the power certainly is on top. The number 1 seeded Norm Duke. Now, he may be small of stature, but the 16-time PBA champion took control of the tournament early this week, using his ability to adjust his ball speed and keep his composure over a demanding lane condition. Now, Duke will meet the winner of our shootout, consisting of number 2 seeded Chris Barnes, the 1998 PBA Rookie of the Year. And he's seen his confidence continue to grow after winning. 3 seeded Bob Learn Jr. The man known for shooting 300 games got here this week, showcasing his consistent play. And the 4th seed is Sean Quinn, a strong young right-hander making his very first telecast.
And we are set to begin the shootout round of the 1999 PBA Oregon Open. Sean Quinn, the 4th seed, will be up on the approach first. 28-year-old from College Corner, Ohio, has never won a PBA title. This is, in fact, his first career PBA telecast. First frame of the shootout round. Sean Quinn will start things off. Marshall knocks them all down in the first.
Well, no nerves for Sean Quinn as he makes a great shot to open up the shootout round.
Chris Barnes up next in the shootout round, 29-year-old, second-year touring pro, Wichita, Kansas, a right-hander, 6 feet, 185 pounds.
Yeah! And Gary, kind of unusual for Chris Barnes. That's the same ball he's used the entire tournament. In today's game, very unusual for that to happen.
Bob Learn Jr., 37-year-old. He's the seasoned veteran of this group.
Three shots, 3 strikes.
What?
Go to the wrong lane, Bob.
Gary, we have a little bit of a misunderstanding here.
Whoever starts, the second person goes there.
Bob Learn bowled on the wrong lane.
Now, what happens in this case?
Now, the shot doesn't count. That strike that Bob Learn threw. He'll have to throw the shot over again on lane 33, so this is truly his first frame.
Deja vu all over again for Bob Learn Jr. How many times have you seen that happen?
Once. Today. That's the only time I've ever seen anybody bowl the wrong lane on a national telecast.
Fortunately for Learn, it produced the same result. So 3 strikes in the first frame of the shootout round, and here's Sean Quinn up once again in the second.
And a soft 10 for Sean Quinn. Sean Quinn, 6-step approach, gets the ball nice and high in his backswing, throwing it out to about the 2 board, hooking back into the pocket, 6-pin stays in the channel, doesn't knock the 10 out.
Sean Quinn attempting to convert the spare in the second, just the 10, and he'll pick that up, so Quinn starts out with a strike and a spare in the shootout round.
And good technique for Sean as he throws the ball hard and straight to pick up that 10 pin.
Chris Barnes, 1998 PBA Rookie of the Year. And in 1999, certainly has placed himself in a position early in the season to be considered for Player of the Year honors as well.
Able to keep the ball on line. Very, very important that the speed is kept up today. Chris Barnes, take a look how high the backswing is. That helps him throw the ball fast, holding the pocket.
And this time, Learn comes back on the lane he's supposed to be on and answers again with a strike. Couple for Learn to open up the shootout. And now Sean Quinn. In the third frame. Right-hander, 5'8", 225 pounds, puts a lot of power behind that ball, Marshall, and picks up a strike.
Well, he has no problem in the third frame. Unfortunate, left the 10 pin in the second frame. That right now is the reason why he trails by 10 pins to both Barnes and Learn.
Barnes missing a 300 game by just one pin. 299 is high this week. 179 his low game. Consistent week for Chris Barnes.
And for Chris Barnes, last year's Rookie of the Year, trying to throw his name in the hat for Player of the Year. Nice low angle of Chris throwing the ball down the right-hand side of the lane, hooking into the pocket, taking care of all the pins. Confident young player.
Well, to go from Rookie 1 year, Rookie of the Year, to top player, unprecedented in the sport.
Came in high. You could hear him saying he threw that ball soft. Ball just goes right through the center of the pins. Fortunate. Look at the 10 pin, Gary. Just barely falls.
Chris Barnes with the early lead, up by 12 over Bob Learn Jr. We'll be back. Welcome back to Portland, Oregon and the PBA Oregon Open. Time now for the Friday night recap where the position round determined who made today's TV finals.
And John Mazda with 11 strikes in a row, going for 300. Comes in just a little bit light, leaves two. You know, there were lower scores this week. Only two 300 games full, one by Rob Rice and one by Jess Stayruck. Norm Duke, he defeats Barnes to get the top seed. We'll see him in the championship match.
And Sean Quinn, the mighty Quinn, on Friday night, shoots at 220 in the final match play performance to make his first ever TV appearance. Mika Koivuniemi had a good night Friday night as well. That's this week's Friday night recap. Mark Frank, proprietor of Hollywood Bowl, a tremendous week here out in Portland, thanks to him and his entire staff at Hollywood Bowl. Back to the shootout round. Chris Barnes in command. He's perfect through three. Over Bob Learn Jr., Sean Quinn 20 down. And Sean Quinn up on the approach in the fourth.
He threw a bad shot. The ball was left off his hand, but he was very, very lucky. Gets the 5 pin off the sideboard. Watches the ball. It's just way, way left of the head pin. Here comes a little help. 5 pin's going to fall. A great break for a rookie and a happy one right now.
Chris Barnes now. And Barnes comes right back. The first four for Barnes.
Chris Barnes hoping the ball will hook back in.
Now Bob Learn Jr.
Now he's working on a spare. He strikes in the fourth frame as well. And Gary, they're playing more of an outside trajectory this week, and that's determined by the way the lanes were oiled. They didn't put as much oil on the lanes this week, only went down 34 feet. It's forced the guys to use harder equipment and stay further to the right.
Sean Quinn now, fifth frame of the shootout round, looking to remain close. He's 22 down. And a strike certainly is going to help him there.
Well, and he takes what was a great break in the previous frame and backs it up with a really, really good shot. That's what you've got to do out here. You get a good break, take advantage of it.
Looks like he's having fun. No signs of nervousness, really.
Well, he does seem pretty cool for a relative newcomer to the tour.
Speaking about cool, Chris Barnes.
He knows he got away with one there. The ball was a little bit left off his hand, but the good rotation up the back of the ball, the forward roll is what keeps that ball in the pocket.
Working on a strike. Yeah! And a strike for Learn. Access the latest information on the PBA by checking out their website at www.pbatour.com, sponsored by Brunswick. The site features the latest tournament standings, stats, news from the PBA, and scheduled live chats with the pros. And Sean Quinn has certainly settled in. He's working on 3.
Delaney made the better, overcompensated, got that ball farther to the right, but a little slower. Ball hooks right through the nose. Look how much this ball is going to hook back all the way to the edge, comes all the way back up and hits high. Right now he knows it's going through the nose. All he can do is just try and make the 3-6-10. Difficult spare, hard and straight once again. Takes care of the business.
And Chris Barnes now. Barnes perfect through 5 frames. Not this time leaving the 4.
Just coming in ever so slightly high. The string stops at 5, but Barnes still in very good control.
And Barnes converts. So a spare for Barnes in the 6th frame brings Bob Learn Jr. back up on the approach. Learn 19 years as a pro, 13 years as a touring pro. 3 national titles. Yeah! And Bob Learn Jr. remains close, keeping the shootout round of the Oregon Open right there. We'll be back. Today's trip down memory lane takes us back to the 1996 Oregon Open, where Brian Voss's win gave him at least 1 PBA title for the 10th consecutive year. Earl Anthony holds the record, winning at least 1 PBA event for 14 consecutive years. Voss now sits at 12 straight, but a few weeks ago he broke his wrist and will miss the rest of the spring tour.
Well, Brian Voss hoping to return in action for the U.S. Open in July. And Brian, I know you're back there watching in Florida. Good luck to you.
Into the 7th frame of the shootout round. Chris Barnes in the lead. Sean Quinn. Masters his best performance so far in the spring tour here on CBS, a 10th place finish. And if he wins this one, the mighty Quinn. Chris Barnes on the spring tour here on CBS. A couple of 8th place finishes, but at the Touring Players Championship, that's his best so far. That's his place.
A pretty solid bowling. Working his way up, finally making it to the telecast.
Right, back on it, back on it.
And exactly what he wanted to do, not just get the strike, Gary, he wants to make the quality.
Chris Barnes, bowled well, City PBA experience, a 7th place finish, and that's been his best performance so far on the spring tour. Yeah! And he's turning in quite a performance today as he is doing his best to stay close to Barnes, now just only 1 pin down.
Bob Learn holds the ball down low, shoulder high backswing. He's running this one out already. 1 pin match.
They call him Mr. 300. 61 300 games. Chris Slim lead over Bob Learn Jr. Just one pin.
Oh, and a better shot from Sean Quinn, but the ball cut through leaving the 4 and the 9 just an inch away from being in great position as Bob Learn watches.
Obviously now a tough spot for Quinn. Was remaining in the hunt.
Well, he needs to make this to really have a shot, and just overcuts the 4-pin.
Well, coming up tomorrow on the CBA. Chris Barnes, 1 pin over Bob Learn Jr., but now has stretched the lead over Sean Quinn to 36 pins. And Chris Barnes working on a strike, looking to add to that total.
Barnes showing the emotion, and really he's become such a great bowler out on this tour. Last year Rookie of the Year, this year trying to give Parker Bowen Jr. a run for his money for Player of the Year.
And Learn will need this to move back to within 1 pin.
And the same shot that Sean Quinn had on 34 now plagues Bob Learn. The 4-9, maybe just a little slow, a tad left on with the ball. He thinks he still has a chance. 4-9.
Marshall, degree of difficulty in picking up the 4-9?
For Bob Learn, about 3-1. And he makes it.
Right.
Bob Learn showing what a great spare shirt he is. Just cuts that 4-pin into the 9-pin. You think he doesn't like this one, Gary?
Liked it big time. And now Sean Quinn.
And the best that Quinn could do right now is 223 with a strike in the 9th frame. If he strikes all the way out in the 10th, he'll need a lot of help from both Barnes and Learn. It looks like it's going to come down between the two of them.
Chris Barnes now a little bit of breathing room. 13 over Bob Learn Jr. Could have been more, but Learn came through in the clutch to pick up that 4-9 spare.
Made a great shot on 34 last time. Comes in just a little high, leaves the 9-pin.
Chris Barnes presently second in 1999 in seasonal earnings behind Parker Bowen III. $55,000 for Barnes and Steve Hottle. Chris Barnes, high-profile player, Rookie of the Year last year. Is that added pressure for him coming out on the tour in his second year?
Well, I think he has expected him. He was a great player before he came out on the tour, and he certainly has not disappointed anybody with the way he's bowled so far. That shot opens the door for Bob Learn. Will he walk through it? Let me in, he says.
So Learn answers the call. 12 pins down.
Takes the arm swing a little bit behind his body, reroutes it. Watch the 6-pin. It'll take care of the 10. That's what I wanted to do last time, I think Sean Quinn just said.
At this point now, Sean Quinn looking to put in a good showing, and he has done that in his first PBA telecast.
He's a nice-looking young player, and I would think that he'll have a very good career in front of him. Seems to have a good attitude, doesn't get down on himself too much, Gary, which is really important.
Two strikes in the 10th for Quinn, and 3 in a row. As Learn and Barnes look on.
Barnes has a possible 258. The best for Bob Learn is 256. So Barnes controls his own destiny.
And Quinn closes out his performance in the shootout round, leaving the 10 pin. Barnes needs 2 strikes and 9 pins to win. And as you pointed out, Marshall does control his own destiny. If he gets that, we'll shut out Bob Learn Jr.
Now, important to make a good shot here in the 10th frame. If he marks, it would at least make Learn double in the 10th frame. So, first things first. He makes the good shot, but the 6-pin lays in the channel, does not knock out the 10. It's going to give Learn the opportunity, and Bob is an opportunistic kind of a player.
Barnes working on a spare in the 9th frame. Needs, obviously, to pick up this spare and go on and get the full count in his last shot.
He needs a spare at least 9. If he, with the spare there and 9 pins, that would put him at 246, and that would force Bob Learn to throw 2 strikes in the 10th frame. If we were to get 8 pins and shoot 245, then a strike 9-pin spare, and Learn could tie him. So a lot of stories still left to be told here.
Barnes knows what needs to be done.
9 or 10, that's what he wants. He takes care of it in the fill ball, shooting 247. You know, Gary, it was just a few weeks ago in Long Island when Bob Learn had the opportunity to make a telecast and threw a very, very bad shot. He was very down on himself. He came back. Now he needs 2 strikes here.
2 strikes and 2 pins for Learn, and he can take it. And there is number 1.
Bob Learn, ball over the 6th board, holding the pocket nicely. Good speed, good projection down the lane. Must strike situation.
And now it's time for Bob Learn Jr. to control his destiny.
Strike here, he wins. He threw it poorly again.
A tough break for Bob Learn Jr.
Well, it just seems like he just overhit the ball. Ball goes right through the nose. There's the 4-pin, there's the 6-pin, there's the 7-pin, and for Bob Learn, it's going to be 242. Tough break, and just a difficult way to lose, but it will be Chris Barnes going.
So Barnes, your winner in the shootout round. CBS Sports coverage of the PBA Oregon Open will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to Portland, where Chris Barnes has won the shootout round and now advances to take on number 1 seed Norm Duke. You know, no number 1 seed has won a tournament on the Spring-Summer Tour, and we did ask top seed Norm Duke why.
Winning from the top spot is awfully difficult because whoever you bowl has a game underneath him. He's more comfortable. It seems like he's won the prior match, so he's got a little confidence going on. And also the leader has really nothing to gain. He has only something to lose. And add all those variables up, and it's a tough thing to beat somebody that's just that comfortable. So many times, because it takes you a couple of shots to get all comfortable and ready, it's almost as if you're spotting 8 frames to 10.
And Duke will try to break that string today. Well, in addition to today's 4 finalists, 20 other bowlers made match play this week. Finishing 6th here in Portland, Eric Forkel, 5-time PBA titleist who won the first ever outdoor event in the sport, the New York City PBA Experience. Tim Chris, who captured his 3rd career tour event, his first major, the PBA National Championship earlier this year, capped off his week here with a 10th place finish. Defending Oregon Open champion Danny Wiseman fell short in his bid to become the first player to defend his title in this event, checking in at number 13. Second-year touring pro Robert Smith made the championship round 2 weeks ago in Akron in the Touring Players Championship, but could only muster a 17th place finish this week. And local favorite Brian Smith from nearby Sutherland, Oregon, made match play here for the 2nd consecutive year, was in the hunt throughout the week, but faded to 21st place on Friday. Well, you know, the path to becoming a better bowler is not just about accuracy or the equipment a player uses. Another factor, the differing degrees of the need for speed. Here's Marshall Holman and company with our tip of the week.
One key to becoming a better bowler is being able to adapt your ball speed to be more effective on varying lane conditions. So how is that achieved? Well, we brought in PBA Hall of Famer Mike Albee. Mike, good to have you with us.
Thank you, Marshall.
Now, Mike, what's your technique?
Well, one thing bowlers don't realize is that they can change their ball speed simply by changing the position of their ball in their stance. Here's a couple of examples. On an oily lane condition where you need less ball speed, you want to start with a ball around waist high or below in your stance. This will create a shorter backswing and give you less ball speed, so the ball will have a chance to react to the lane condition. On a lane condition where the lanes hook more, you need to create more ball speed. You can achieve this by raising the ball in your stance. This will give you a longer backswing and create more ball speed. The most important ingredient of these two examples is to allow the weight of the ball to control your arm swing. This will allow you to be consistent and to adjust your ball speeds to the varying lane conditions.
So take a tip from Mike Albee and work on changing your ball speed. You'll realize you have more options for finding the pocket. And thanks again, Mike.
And just whose pocket will today's top prize in Portland wind up in? Well, the answer is just a game away. The championship match between Chris Barnes and top seed Norm Duke is coming up next. Welcome back to the PBA Oregon Open. Well, Marshall, we found out why Norm Duke thinks that the #1 seed hasn't won yet. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a combination of a few things, but number one, it's mental. You hear about it over and over and over, the #1 seed can't win. Pretty soon it gets stuck in your mind. For Norm Duke, he needs to put that out of his mind and just concentrate on beating Chris Barnes.
And what we have here, Marshall, a look at competition between the new breed in Chris Barnes and the seasoned, very successful veteran in Norm Duke, who is up right now. And you take a look at his play on the spring tour. His best finish, the Johnny Petraglia Open, but he has been nursing a thumb injury, and that's probably a good part of the reason why Norm has not performed to his peak.
Well, it certainly is. It hasn't bothered him this week. He throws the first ball, leaving the 7th pin, and what he's had to do, he's had to patch his thumb right over the nail because the nail on his right thumb is actually starting to come off a little bit. Ball comes in light. He shakes him up, but the 7th pin will not reply. Thinks he has a chance to strike. Not too pleased, but quality shot for the first frame.
And Duke converts in the championship match in the first frame, which will send Chris Barnes up on the approach, our shootout round winner.
And we'll see if Barnes can keep the momentum that he had in the last game.
And a strike for Barnes. This has been a good house for Norm Duke. 6 out of 9 years he has competed in the Oregon Open. He has finished in the top 4, including a victory in 1995. He loves the house, and he has bowled very well here.
He likes the fact that he's able to play the outside line here. That gives him just a little bit of an edge over the other players, and that's the reason that he feels he's done so well here in Portland.
And Barnes on a roll. He opens up with a double.
Now, fast start for Chris Barnes. Knows he's up against a veteran player, Norm Duke. Wants to get off to a fast start. Good projection. Look at those eyes.
Norm Duke now 16 career titles in the PBA.
Solid 10 for Norm Duke. Great shot from Duke. Good projection down the lane. Watch the 6 pin. It's going to go around the 10 pin. Part of the game of bowling. A lot of good shots. Don't strike. For Norm, needs to make the spare. Forget about it. And he pulled it.
Oh, my.
Something distracted Norm. I'm not sure what it was. But for Duke, he's going to have to put that behind him now, as he's behind by 22 pins, Gary.
Down early to Chris Barnes, and Barnes again opening up with a couple of strikes here. He has really found his line, Marshall.
Now, Barnes is tough right now. Duke wants the crowd to make a little more noise. And his first strike on lane 33 in the 3rd frame.
Barnes has averaged this week on the TV pair of lanes, 241. Solid performance for him all week long. Chris getting married on July 17th to Linda Norrie, who bowls on the women's tour. She just won the doubles championship with Kim Kennedy in Las Vegas 3 weeks ago.
Well, Chris probably not thinking about his fiancée at this point, just thinking about the opportunity to win his second title of the year, really put himself in the running for Player of the Year, as he's up by 32 pins.
Early on for Barnes. The first three for Chris Barnes will be up again now. Fourth frame. Championship match.
Four in a row for Chris Barnes. And could he be thinking about the $100,000 for a 300 game? A little early for that. Chris Barnes staring down the pins. You know, Gary, Norm Duke in his last 3 tournaments that he has been tournament leader, he's won. Same ringing 10-pin that he left in the second frame. A chance to get back into the game. Watch the 6-pin. It's going to go around the bottom of the 10. And the reaction from Norm Duke is one of, how could this possibly happen? He makes the 10-pin this time.
Well, next week we're going to be in Las Vegas at the Showboat Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center for the Showboat Invitational next Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS Sports. And the lead increases for Barnes, 42 now, as they bowl in the 5th frame. Norm Duke is up.
Striking on lane 33, making great shots on 34 for Duke, but not able to knock the 10-pin down as yet. He'll have to figure that out if he wants any chance against Chris Barnes.
And Barnes now in the 5th, again looking to remain perfect as he did in the shootout round through 5.
Right up the back of the ball. That, solid 10 for Chris Barnes. The same thing that Norm Duke's done on lane 34. You'll see just the instant replay of what happened to Norm Duke on that. He liked it. Didn't like what was left, though. Hard and straight, makes the spare, and remains 41 pins ahead.
Well, for in-depth sports coverage with late-breaking news, updated scores and stats, go to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Barnes breaks the string, but still a comfortable lead at this point in the match, 41 over Norm Duke.
Powerful strike on lane 33.
And Chris Barnes continues to pour it on over Norm Duke in Oregon. Welcome back to Portland and the PBA Oregon Open. Well, presently, Norm Duke well behind Chris Barnes, 41 pins down. Well, these 4 bowlers have automatically qualified for the match play portion of the AC Delco All-Star Classic at the end of the Spring-Summer Tour here on CBS. And you see, Marshall, a great lineup of bowlers. Today's winner will also join that group.
And Steve Hoskins, he opened up a spot by winning the Touring Players Championship for another bowler into match play. Right now, these players worrying about trying to win here in Portland, Oregon.
And speaking of match play, good week for Norm Duke in match play.
Gotta hurry. Now that's what Norm Duke needed on lane 34. Shot looked like it got off his hand pretty quick. The result was exactly what he wanted. And Gary, he can get it to a 21-pin deficit if he strikes here in the 7th frame, and that'll put a lot of heat on Chris Barnes.
Norm Duke has been there many times before.
Well, he's certainly not out of this match now. Barnes opened up the door by not striking in the 5th frame as Norm Duke playing. Look how far to the right that ball goes. That's on the 2 board going down the lane. Just barely knocks out the 10 pin. Says, yeah, I'm back in this match.
And Norm feels he has done so well here at Hollywood Bowl because he is a great outside line player. Yeah! And Barnes comes right back. Well, Chris Barnes having a great year in many categories, including pin average leaders. Right now, just behind Parker Bone III and Jason Couch with an average just under 225, Marshall.
Those are big scores. Very big.
Right now, 2 for Chris Barnes, 3 for Norm Duke, and of course, Duke in the position of trying to get himself back into the match, 31 pins down.
With Barnes with the opportunity to make it 41. Yeah! Ball looked like it was creeping a little bit high, Gary, but the 9 pin responded. It really looked like it was going to go a little bit left. Look at the concentration on Chris Barnes. He pumped up or what?
He is pumped up, and no PBA Rookie of the Year has ever come back to be named Player of the Year the next year. If Chris Barnes continues on a roll like he's having in 99, it's certainly a possibility.
For Norm Duke on lane 34, he's made 4 shots on this lane, 1 strike, and 3 ringing 10s, with the 6 pin going around the bottom of that 10 pin just haunting Duke. Cannot believe it.
And the conversion for Duke in the 8th frame.
And for Chris Barnes, he's done 2 things very, very well today. Number 1, he's bowled great. And number 2, the breaks have gone his way.
42 out is Duke. 2 frames left.
227, the best Norm Duke could do, striking out in the 9th and 10th frame. You know he's not going to give up, Gary.
So Norm Duke picks up a strike in the 9th frame. And Barnes working on 3 right now. If he nails another one here, Marshall, does he put the nail in the coffin?
Strike here, and the tournament belongs to Chris Barnes. He knows it. Quality shot from a great young player, really making his mark on the Professional Bowlers Tour. The concentration, the shot making, and the reaction of a champion. For Duke,
Barnes will stay on the approach and bowl on the 10th.
Putting an exclamation point toward the end of this game with 2 more strikes. It'll be 279 as Duke applauds the great performance of Chris Barnes. Watch the high backswing, the good projection down the lane, and most importantly, the way the ball rolls end over end. Championship reaction.
Barnes keeps on rolling, and Marshall, he's now strung together 6 consecutive strikes.
Congratulations.
And once again, the tournament leader does not win.
And Chris Barnes, the winner of the 1999 PBA Oregon Open, he will finish it out, his 2nd career title. A happy Chris Barnes. Norm Duke. A tough day for him, but Chris Barnes, a happy man. And Norm Duke will finish out his game and again leaves the 10.
Well, he's going to have nightmares on lane 34 with all the 10 pins he left. He really bowled a very good game. There's our champion, Chris Barnes. Sometimes in bowling, you know, you make the good shots, but you don't quite get the carry. Could have possibly been a different ball when it would have worked a little better for Norm. Different angles, the pocket. It's going to be a 2nd place finish for a man who's bowled great here in Portland over the years.
Well, Barnes finishes out with a 278. Another big performance from him.
says maybe I should have thrown it down the middle the whole game.
And that'll do it for Norm Duke at 207. Chris Barnes, the winner of the 1999 PBA Oregon Open. A big performance. We'll be back in a moment. Down to Marshall Holman for the check and trophy presentation and to meet the winner.
All right, thank you very much, Gary. I'm with Dave Cause, the general manager here, and he's got the check and the trophy.
Thank you, Marshall. Chris, on behalf of Hollywood Bowl and the great bowling fans of Portland, Oregon, I'd like to present you with this marble trophy and a check for $17,000.
Thanks a lot. I'd like to thank all the fans here in Portland. They were great this week, and it's just great to be able to get a win here.
All right, now you've got a couple of breaks. Number one, Bob Learn in the 10th frame of the shootout. You must have thought he was probably going to strike and knock you out.
Absolutely. He's been clutch forever, and I assumed that he would strike out there in the 10th and beat me once I gave him the opening.
And a lot of great shots being made in that title match. Norm Duke left a lot of solid 10 pins. You got the carry. What was the difference?
You know, maybe just ball speed. We got a little more carry down today, and I could square up on it a little bit more than he could. That might have been the only difference between the two. He bowled great all week. Today was just carrying.
Rookie of the Year, 1998. Are you thinking possibly Player of the Year? It's 1999. You got 2 titles now.
I'd love to think about it. Parker's awfully far up there, but, you know, at this point, anything can happen, and I'm just happy to be in the middle of the race.
Well, you become a dominant player very, very early, but you bowled a lot of competitive tournaments prior to coming out on the tour. Do you think that really helped you, prepared you to come out and try it against the best?
Absolutely. Being able to be with Team USA and Freddie Borden for all those years helped me grow up not only as a bowler, but as a person, too. And I think that's helped shorten my learning curve out here quite a bit.
All right, Chris, congratulations. Congratulations to Norm Duke as well. Gary, back up to you.
All right, Marshall. Chris Barnes, the new breed. So for Marshall Holman, I'm Gary Seibel saying so long from Portland, Oregon, where Chris Barnes has won the 1999 PBA Oregon Open. CBS Sports coverage of the Pro Bowlers Tour continues next Saturday as we travel to Las Vegas for the Showboat Invitational. And coming up next, it's the PGA Tour as CBS Sports presents live third-round coverage of the Kemper Open.